So I'm going to spend the start of this just talking about making crosshairs of odd pixel width because it seems to catch a lot of people up. I'll put a timestamp in the description of where to skip to if you don't care. Basically, a lot of people when they go to make a crosshair with an odd pixel width is they'll just crop out their crosshair and they'll end up with, something like this, which doesn't work because the canvas has odd pixel width as well, or the dimensions are odd, whereas your screen, any screen, is even pixel dimensions, 1920 by 1080 for example. So if you use a canvas with odd dimensions, Kovaaks, when it tries to apply your crosshair as a decal, is going to just like stretch it to fit, which is why it'll end up being blurred. So generally when I'm making crosshairs, I just work on 50 by 50 because it fits the preview window for Kovaaks pretty well. And it made it black. Of course it did. Not that there's anything wrong with being black, but that's not what I wanted. There we go, thank you. So, to make a crosshair with odd pixel width, you're going to have to use one of the center 4 pixels as your starting point. So this canvas is 25 or 50 by 50, so you see how you have like the numbers in the bottom left. The center 4 pixels are just going to be half of that, and then like the ones up to the left, those 4 around it. It's like 24, 24, and 25, 25 at the edges. In Valorant, it centers odd pixel widths around the top left of these 4 crosshairs, and Counter-Strike uses the bottom right. This is like a really trivial difference, and it doesn't actually matter. Like, your crosshair's not going to function any differently, but, fun tidbit, I guess. I'm just going to use the bottom right. So, you'd actually end up with something like this if I was recreating the crosshair from before. So it's not going to be, symmetrical around the center of the screen, which is, this join between the 4 pixels. But it doesn't really matter. I've used odd pixel width crosshairs all the time. Plenty of people do. You don't notice it. It's so like finicky and specific that you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So that would be Counter-Strike, and that would be Valorant. And yeah, that works. It'll look right, and you won't notice that it's not perfect around the center point because it doesn't matter. So we're here in our game. Valorant has aliasing on the preview for crosshairs because the people who made this game are fucking retarded. So you're gonna have to go to the shooting range in order to like not have aliasing on your crosshair when you go to print screen it. Counter-Strike doesn't have this problem, so you don't need to bother. In Counter-Strike, just take a print screen of it in the crosshair section where you make your crosshair. You just walk up to a wall. Doesn't really matter what you walk up to. And print screen, it's a button on the keyboard. If you have 2 monitors, fun little trick. If you press Alt when you print screen, it just print screens the currently active window. I mean, you can do that if you're only using 1 monitor, but if you have 2 monitors, when you print screen, it print screens both, and that's not what you wanted. So press Alt when you print screen to just print screen the window you're in. Not that I have 2 monitors. And then you're gonna go into your old template where we had our crosshair going from before. You're gonna paste it in, and oh hey, look, that just coincidentally lines up. Wait a minute. Oh wait, is this Big Brain? Oh, it is Big Brain. Whoa. That's actually a pretty good excuse to go in game and print screen it because it's going to be centered when you do that. Whereas when you do it from the menu, it's up here and not in the center of the screen. And it's going to be the same thing in Counter-Strike where you've print screened it off of a menu. So doing it while it's actually in game is apparently a cool life hack. Who would have thought? Because you just get it already lined up. Anyway, I digress. All you're really going to do at this point is just on a separate layer, you're just going to draw over it in white. Any color in Kovaaks, or any color you use for your crosshair, is going to get replaced with the color you have your crosshair set to in Kovaaks. So you see, look, I just made it, wow, so cool. any color is going to get replaced with what you have your crosshair color set to in Kovaaks. Black is, 000s, so there's no color to replace, but if I used like red, it's just going to get replaced with whatever color I used in Kovaaks anyway, so it's easy to just use white. And yeah, you just do that and you draw it. Paint.net is a thing, you can use that instead. GIMP is better, but Paint is smaller and loads quicker, so you can use either. I'm not your dad, do what you want. And yeah, it's literally just that easy. I guess I should cover, if you do print screen it off of a menu. Oh, actually, that's a good excuse to show you that it aliases the crosshair on the menu. If you do print screen it off a menu, like it's not gonna come in centered. So like, it's just like some random ass part of the menu. So because I don't want to bother with the aliasing, I'll use a print screen of the actual thing. So let's just assume I like didn't know where the center was, like if I had taken this off of a menu. You're gonna, make your new layer that's transparent, which you can't do in Paint.net, which is why you do it in GIMP, because Paint is shit. And then, you're gonna, this is reason number 2 to use GIMP, is you're just gonna like, find the boundaries of your crosshair. Now this is where most people will fuck up because, that's odd dimensions, like I said before in the first part of this video, and you need it to be even. So if you were cropping your crosshair and it's got odd pixel width, you gotta remember to like, increase it by 1 so that it's even dimensions, and then you can crop. If I can remember where crop is. Crop to selection is what I'm looking for. There we go. So it'd be like that. And then you can draw over it on a new layer, which we already have. And I can't draw. I still can't draw. Wow. Wow. If you're gonna draw like outlines, like if your crosshair has outlines, then just do those in black. So, once we've got it cropped down and we've drawn over it, what you're gonna do, you just delete the layer underneath it and you've got your drawn crosshair. And now just comes the putting it into the Kovaaks part. So all you really gotta do is once you've got it drawn, you're just gonna export it to like desktop or whatever, I don't care. Give it a name. In GIMP, this is like one annoying thing about GIMP, you have to type the file type you want, otherwise it'll be like, you didn't enter a valid format, so just do .png basically. You don't need to worry about this stuff, just leave it as default. Next part of the process, we're going to go to the desktop, look at my cool desktop, we've got our cool crosshair. All you're going to do is you're going to go to your OBS recordings folder, just kidding, you're going to go to wherever your Steam directory is, your Steam apps, your common, your FPS aim trainers, and your saved games, and you're going to find a crosshair folder somewhere that is actually here. Ta-da! And then you're going to put it in. And then when you go into Kovaaks, it'll be in the crosshair menu. You're welcome. Ta-da!